Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and welcome to our annual Sharsheret Jewel Reception. My name is Alana Silber, and I'm Executive Director at Sharsheret. At Sharsheret, we are on the cutting edge of redefining what cancer prevention and cancer survivorship really means. Sharsheret educates the broader community and the next generation about critical statistics. 1,685,210 new cases of cancer will be diagnosed in the United States this year. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And 1 in 40 Ashkenazi Jews carries a BRCA genetic mutation, significantly increasing the risk for hereditary breast, ovarian, prostate, pancreatic, and colon cancer in Jewish families. While we can't change the odds, with your support, we will expand our curriculum on all college campuses and at community-wide events in all 50 states. We'll share information about the measures you and I and everyone can take to protect our future, enabling us to find cancer in its earliest stages when perhaps it can be cured, maybe even prevented. Together, we will save lives. I'm often asked, is Sharsheret a sad place to work? And my answer is unequivocally no. What makes working at a cancer organization exciting and inspiring? Knowing that what we do every day is improving lives and saving lives. Not a day goes by that we don't receive a thank you from one of the 65,000 lives we've touched. I wanted to share a message that came in from a woman named Nina, who was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 33. Nina writes, Sharsheret truly shines as the most outstanding organization for women with cancer and their loved ones. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 1 year ago today, before Thanksgiving. As I reflect on all the blessings received over this past year, Sharsheret is at the top of my list. I'm grateful to have become another link in the chain. I'm inspired by all your founder, Rochelle, accomplished, and all you do to keep her vision alive. Please turn your attention to the video screens for more stories like Nina's.
When it comes to being diagnosed with an illness, there are always doctors there, but you can't necessarily get the emotional support that you need. Sharsheret, meaning chain, is really about linking one woman with another, so that they can all gain strength from one another.
So I went for my regularly scheduled mammogram and sonogram, and I had made lunch plans, and I had just assumed that everything would be fine. And unfortunately, after a period of time, the doctor came in and said that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I just started thinking about my kids and how was I going to tell them, and my parents, how was I going to tell them. When women go through breast cancer, the rest of the family goes through the situation as well. Sharsheret's available and helping the entire family. The organization matches people. I found people called me with almost the exact same diagnosis, same number of children diagnosed at the exact same age. I felt their relief when I speak to them and tell them what they're going to get through. I think sometimes people just need you to hold their hand. This summer, our oldest son, decided that he wanted to do a bike ride around Lake Michigan. So he convinced my husband to do this 800-mile bike ride in 8 or 9 days and do it to benefit an organization. And he chose to benefit Sharsheret, which I was very proud of him for supporting them, because he raised that money that he would get a jewel, and then he told me that he was giving it to me, so I was very happy about that.
It's important for us to be a Sharsheret Jewel, and our tradition is one of taking care of each other and protecting each other.
Dana Norris is my sister. We're very close. It was a real typical American Jewish family. But like any real world family, everything wasn't perfect. So many of the women in our family would develop breast cancer at a certain age. And well, Dana had an elective mastectomy. This was a big thing. So I think Dana wanted to investigate, see if there was something out there, or there could be something out there to really help people. And that's how she, found Shasheret. And it's a very exciting time for Shasheret. Even in the short number of years that we've been involved, they were in New Jersey, in New York, and they had the Florida office. But now, with opening the office in Los Angeles, and then with us having an event this year in the greater Boston area, making people aware of the wonderful services and support that, that the organization provides.
When I first met Dana, I instantly liked her. She has such tremendous and increasing responsibilities in the corporate world, and yet she made Shasheret a priority.
And for Dana to know that she had a support network of people behind her meant that she was truly not alone. Professionally, Dana's a real role model for me. And I am so delighted that she has decided to put those talents and invest them in Shasheret. It's certainly a cause that's enormously close to her heart.
Shasheret has become one of Dana's philanthropic priorities, and her brilliance, her generosity, her thoughtfulness, and her sensitivity has really helped shape what Shasheret is today. It's truly an honor to be the president of the board of Shasheret and to take on this role from Dana. Essentially continuing to get the word of Shasheret out there, how Shasheret is an organization like no other. Shasheret helps over 60,000 women nationwide. We've received grants from the CDC to develop programs. Shasheret has already grown so much, but it has so much more growing to do, and that's when we need your help. We need the funds to help continue to grow this organization. We're truly grateful to the Jewel families who really helped to carry Shasheret from year to year. My sister Rochelle would be proud that her dream is being realized. Shasheret really has become a leader in the fight against breast and ovarian cancer. My dream for Shasheret is that each and every family know about Shasheret should they ever need us. Somebody to really walk through with you the logistics of how is this going to impact my life? How am I going to get from day one to day two? How am I going to tell my kids that we need to go through this together? So that's really what Shasheret is all about. It's about the support that you don't necessarily or can't necessarily get from doctors, but that you can get from somebody who you know will be there for you because they understand what you're going through.
All this at Shasheret would not be possible without you, our Shasheret Jewels. We rely on your gifts to make all Shasheret's programs possible. Every gift enables us to do what we do best, help women and families in need, improving lives and saving lives. As we are reminded of what it says in the Talmud, when you save one life, it is as if you saved the entire world, and that is inclusive. Shasheret is here for you, for every woman and family, should you ever need us. Tonight, we recognize your meaningful gifts that you've made in honor or in memory of loved ones or in support of the organization. Those names, your names, and photos have been scrolling on the screens in the room this evening. I'd like to take a moment to announce some of our Jewel families who are in the room tonight who have made lead gifts towards Rochelle's dream. Rochelle's Dream is a new fund that we've established in memory of our dear founder, Rochelle Shoretz, who passed away last year at the age of 42. This fund will not only secure the financial sustainability of the organization for years to come, but it will realize Rochelle's dream that no woman will have to face cancer alone. And these lead gifts who are in the room tonight, Sherry and Neil Cohn, who have named our college campus program in honor of Sherry's mom, Beatrice Milberg, a longtime breast cancer survivor, and Karen and Mati Gutman, Tammy and David Katz, Shari and Nathan Lindenbaum, and Aviva and Yitzi Jacobowitz, who have named our educational booklet series in honor of their parents, Florence and Joseph Appelman, and the Sharshara Board of Directors, and the Sussman and Weider families. Special thank you to Tishman Speyer and Bloomberg Philanthropies for underwriting this beautiful evening, and the view, we can't thank you enough. It's absolutely fantastic. And a special thank you to our past president, Dana Norris, who we honor, who has allowed us to honor her tonight for her amazing leadership, who's helped Sharshara reach great heights. It's now my pleasure to introduce President and CEO of Tishman Speyer, Rob Speyer.
Thank you, Alana, and good evening. And I do have the pleasure tonight to introduce my friend, Dana Norris. We haven't all met, but we've all been affected. Maybe it's a spouse, a parent, a child, a friend. Cancer does not discriminate. So when Dana mentioned to me a couple of months ago that she was going to be honored, I actually didn't know why. I didn't know why because several years ago, when Dana faced surgery, she simply said she was going away for a couple of weeks. She didn't feel comfortable telling me or telling the people that we work with what she was facing. Thank God for Shasheret, because Shasheret provided a community of warmth, a community of people who had faced the same circumstances, a community of incredibly strong women. Dana, you are an invaluable partner in business. You're my dear friend, and you are a very, very strong woman. Come on up here.
Thank you for those kind words. And I want to start by thanking Rob and Jerry Speyer for recognizing the importance of Sharsheret to me and supporting me and Sharsheret over all these years, even if you didn't know exactly why. I think you knew it was important because I said it was. And what an amazing crowd here tonight and a spectacular venue. As we light up the night for Sharsheret, I feel truly honored and grateful to be here with all of you. I am often asked, how did I find Sharsheret? And the answer is quite simply, my dear friend Lori Blitzer. Lori knew my cancer story, a family history that ran wide and deep, and she introduced me to Rochelle Shoretz. Rochelle had founded Sharsheret in 2001. She had finished her Supreme Court clerkship, was back in New York working at a law firm, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was 28 with 2 young kids, and she wanted to speak to other women like her, other Jewish women, to find out what this was going to be all about. but that was hard to find. So while still undergoing treatment, she and a small group of women started Shosheret in order to connect young women like themselves. From the beginning, Rochelle wanted to grow Shosheret. She wanted to grow as fast as humanly possible, and she was looking for help. And it was exciting to think about everything that Shosheret could be. So Rochelle's dream that no Jewish woman should face breast or ovarian cancer alone is the fundamental mantra for all of us. But Rochelle was smart, and she knew that this couldn't just be her story, and we like to tell her story a lot, but it couldn't just be her story. We each needed to tell our own stories for Shosheret to continue to grow and thrive. So, here is my story. The common thread of facing breast and ovarian cancer among Jewish population is ever present and most often lonely. I always knew that I was named after my Aunt Estelle, my mother's older sister. Estelle passed away from breast cancer just before I was born. She was in her early 30s with 3 young children, but we never really talked about her. It was, I suppose, too scary a place to go, but it means I know virtually nothing about what she was really like as a person. My mother's twin sister, Claire, passed away from breast cancer during my sophomore year in college. I was away at school with no one to talk to. And as a family, again, it seemed too painful to talk about it. But it was lonely to be silent, and I'm sure my mother felt especially alone. When my mother was diagnosed a year later, she didn't want to tell anyone. She said, "I have cancer, and we're just going to keep it amongst ourselves." She said she didn't want to be treated differently if people knew. So maybe this was true, or maybe it was just an excuse to keep it private. But it meant that she was alone, and therefore we were alone in trying to help her, and it was lonely to be silent. Were Shosheret to have existed, beginning back with my Aunt Estelle in the early 1960s, all of these experiences would have been dramatically different. Shosheret provides information and support where it doesn't otherwise exist. My mother would not have been so alone, and in turn, my family and I would have felt less alone as we tried to support her and each other. When I moved to New York in 1988, a year after my mother passed away from breast cancer, I was handed the phone number of an oncologist here in New York. A family friend said, "Go get followed." It was the first time that somebody suggested that this could affect me too. So there I was 26, in a new city, alone and afraid. For the next 20 years, the worry about cancer was always there, a cloud that just kind of traveled with me, and I traveled. The fear would catch me off guard at moments when I least expected it. I could be walking in Central Park, I could be driving in the car, I might see an old photo, and then there were the annual dates, when my mother was diagnosed, her birthday, when she passed away every year. Think about that. In seeking my own answers about genetics and cancer prevention, Shosheret was there for me. When I asked to speak to someone like me, what we call a link, the Jewish part helped me make an immediate connection with my link, Amy, who lived in Baltimore. And Amy had had prophylactic surgery based on her family history. Suddenly, there were options, and having surgery didn't seem really so crazy. And when I made my decision to move forward, Shosheret meant I was not alone. In talking to my Shosheret friends, I practiced how I was going to tell my family and friends of my decision. I wasn't sure, and they're all here, I wasn't sure how they were going to respond, but I was confident in how I was going to explain it, and to me, that made all the difference in the world. Moving beyond my personal story, my professional career has focused on the people part of the business and what leads to a strong culture and success. I believe it's a combination of a strong leader with a vision, a goal or cause that everyone can relate to, and mutual respect for what everybody brings to the table. At Sharsheret, the staff, the volunteers, and the board feel a real sense of mission and purpose to fulfill that dream, that no Jewish woman should face breast or ovarian cancer alone. We each know someone personally, often ourselves, who have benefited from Sharsheret, and so that is relatable. And the staff works with such pride that it really is everyone at their best, celebrating the successes together. To see healthcare professionals, to see Sharsheret grow and receive such recognition among the Jewish community, healthcare professionals, and the federal government over the last 8 years has been inspiring to all of us involved. Alana, I applaud you and the team. Tonight is an opportunity for me to tell my story, with the hope that by telling more stories, others will be inspired to support Sharsheret. But none of this happens without a lot of help, so a few special thank yous. To my McKinsey friends and Tishman Speyer colleagues who are here tonight and frankly make work feel, well, not so much really like work. And a special thank you to Michelle Adams, who was the driving force behind making tonight extra special. To the sponsors and everyone on the host committee who supported this event and encouraged others to attend, many hearing about Sharsheret for the first time. And a special thank you to the many Jewel families here tonight. And to my family, who have been a great support network and always available to further the cause. My dad, Mel, who's here tonight with his lovely lady friend, Louise. Dad, you made it your project to bring 10 Sharsheret brochures to synagogue every Saturday, so anyone in need would find one. To my brother John and brother-in-law David, also here from Boston, I admire your love and support for each other, and thank you for sharing in my passion for Sharsheret, raising money through David's running of the New York Marathon, and helping to bring Sharsheret to Boston and to your community. To my 4 stepsons, I thank you for welcoming me into your lives and for celebrating with me at every opportunity. And to my husband, Stan, my partner, and frankly, the one who really understands me. It is convenient that you are an oncologist and always there to answer questions on the most current cancer research and therapies. But when I needed you to go beyond the analytics, the trials, the data, and the percentages, and understand that breast cancer was an emotional and terrifying issue for me, you were there holding my hand, and I will always love you. I thank Sharsheret for this honor tonight. 30 years ago, I felt like there was nothing I could do to help my mother. Giving back to Sharsheret has been a gift, an opportunity to help others, even if it was too late to help her. I am most grateful for the opportunity to work with this amazing team at Sharsheret. Your energy is without boundaries, and your success is unlimited. Together, we will keep Sharsheret growing, thriving, and reaching everyone, so no one is facing breast or ovarian cancer alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana, for giving us the privilege to go through your journey. I'd like to call on Stacy Roush, a Sharsheret volunteer, a Sharsheret Jewel, and a very close friend of Dana, to present her with her award this evening. Stacy Roush.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Roush, and I have had the good fortune of being Dana Norris's friend for almost 30 years. Dana and I met at McKinsey in 1988 and worked together there for 14 years. And then my husband Stephen and I followed Dana to Park City, and for the past 12 years we've spent many winter days skiing together, summer days hiking together, and every New Year's Eve drinking champagne and watching fireworks together. There's a lot I admire about Dana. Her fun-loving nature, her intellect and determination, how much she cares about her family and friends, and the energy she derives from getting to know people, hearing their stories, creating meaningful connections, and ultimately working to help people succeed personally and professionally. And this is why, in October of 2010, when I received my diagnosis of breast cancer, Dana and Stan were among the first people that I called. And they became my Sharsheret, a chain that connected me to their knowledge and their emotional support. Now later on, Dana introduced me to Rochelle and the Sharsheret organization more broadly. I learned of their vital work and ultimately had the privilege of advising the board and management on Sharsheret's geographic expansion, which now includes offices in Florida and California. Through link, education, and outreach programs, Sharsheret serves as both a powerful national voice and a very unique local resource. And I have had the opportunity to see firsthand the depth of Dana's commitment to Sharsheret, where she has served on the board since 2008 and is now immediate past president. And with Dana's guidance, Sharsheret has truly grown from strength to strength. It is my honor to welcome my dear friend Dana and to present her with this gift of appreciation on behalf of Sharsheret.
Thank you, Stacy. And to close this evening's program, I'd like to call upon Dr. Stanley Franco, a Sharsheret jewel, but more importantly, Dana's husband.
So, dear friends, family, and guests, thank you for joining us tonight to recognize the contributions of my wife, Dana Norris, to the growth and success of Sharsheret. For those of you who know Dana, you would not be surprised by her focus and perseverance when she takes on a challenge. Dana recognized in her initial meetings with Rochelle the gap in support needed for Jewish women with breast and ovarian cancer. By joining the Sharsheret board, Dana embraced this challenge. While I and many of you have spent our professional careers providing medical care to patients with cancer and investigating the biology and therapies for cancer, it isn't quite the same as being a patient or a family member of a patient with cancer. You can't leave your family at the office. So while there are many questions about diagnosis, prognosis, and therapeutic options, and data, what oncologists face every day is more uncertainty than truth. Dana has shared part of her story, but what she hasn't shared is the overarching fear of the unknown and the looming concern that she would suffer the same fate as her aunt, or her aunts, mother, and cousins. If you or your family doesn't have a similar story, you certainly have friends or coworkers that have faced the psychological and emotional tsunami of being diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer. And while we try as oncologists and health professionals to provide compassionate care to our patients and their families, we are mindful that what we deliver is never enough. You've already heard that 1 in 8 women in the U.S. develop breast cancer, and 1 in 70 develop ovarian cancer during their lifetime. But for Jewish women with a family history or with a genetic predisposition due to a BRCA mutation, the rates are 3 to 7-fold higher for breast cancer and 8 to 20-fold higher for ovarian cancer. So we all, at some point, struggle to find purpose in our lives. But why are you here tonight? What do you value? What is it worth? Sharsheret has provided an answer to these questions for Dana, and I hope it will also provide an answer to you. I am humbled and proud of the tremendous impact Dana has made on Sharsheret over the last 8 years. Over that time period since she joined the board, Sharsheret's budget number of employees in offices have tripled. The number of calls handled and links established has increased eightfold to almost 7,000 per year. The number of people served has tripled to more than 65,000 annually. While the entire staff led by Rochelle and now Alana, as well as the board, have worked tirelessly to make the dramatic progress and growth that we've seen, I'm sure that Dana's impact in provoking the increase in scope and breadth to reach more women in need cannot be underestimated. I never had the opportunity to meet Dana's mother, Gail Norris. I have only seen pictures and heard stories. But what I have seen is the shadow of loss and fear and grief. I am honored with Dana to establish a Shashira Jewel in the memory of Gail. I know that this contribution is only one step, and that I ask that you join us tonight to make sure that no Jewish woman should face breast or ovarian cancer alone. For the chain of support to thrive, we rely on your financial contributions. No two diagnoses are the same, and no two patients are the same. Shasheret provides a personal link and professional support that offers a little bit of light in a chasm of darkness. So I ask, as we conclude this evening, how are you going to feel as you leave the room tonight? If you haven't already, please consider establishing a jewel today. Any contribution helps, but consider where your substantial gifts of $10,000 or more will really have an impact. If you've already established a jewel, consider enhancing it tonight to be here for you, or with another gift, if you were able to give. So Sheriff will continue to be here for you and your family and our community, today, tomorrow, or whenever cancer may touch your life or the life of someone you love. So please give generously as we approach the end of 2016. Help us light up the night with your generous gifts. So those of you who have glasses, let us raise our glasses and make a toast to all of the links in our Shashera chain, to the lives which we share, what is truly meaningful, to Gail's memory, to Dana's service, and to life. L'chaim.
Thank you, Stan, and thank you, everyone. Please enjoy this incredible venue, and thank you for your support.